Today we're in East Los Angeles, where my brother Jose and I will give you a tour of our First Street restaurant.
Hi, I'm Jose, Raul's younger brother, and the manager here at our First Street restaurant, where we specialize in making delicious birria. Today, I'm joining Raul in giving you a tour of our restaurant and our process. At the same time, Raul will tell you a little bit more of our story.
I'm gonna take you guys on a tour on the inside. When we first walked into the restaurant, there were some distinguishing ornaments on the walls that stood out. All these Aztec paintings. They were here with the original restaurant. They all had to be redone because of the canvas. They got old and they were starting to rip apart. But that was what was here originally, and people came in, they were always amazed by them. The things that we added were the steg heads. When people would come in, especially kids, they would come in like, oh, wow. You know, you're a kid, you come in and you see all these animals on the walls, the goats, the deers and stuff, and they would kind of like, I think this is still the original table layout, not the booth itself, but the way the tables were set up. And it was a huge place for us. It was like, wow, what are we gonna do? Can we fill it up? Sure enough, you know, fortunately, thank God that we were blessed and we were able to fill this place up. People stand in lines. We would have a lot of famous Mexican actors, actresses come in here, or personalities that would come and eat here. Mayors would come in here, congressmen. I know there's a picture of Oscar that I up there. He was a customer. There was an article written by Jonathan Gold, writer for the LA Times, LA Weekly. We had Anthony Bourdain come and visit us, written up by the Daily News, featured on certain TV channels. So that's when we knew we had something special. There was something special about what we were doing, but we were very niche, very focused on just, you know, our main demographic was the Spanish-speaking customer. When we first came here and we saw this parking lot, we said, wow, this is huge. We were at our house and there was no parking. We had our driveway with maybe 1 or 2 cars we were able to park. I was maybe 15 at the time, and we lived in a 700 square foot, 2-bedroom house, 1 bathroom, and that was big. There was 8 of us. Walked in here, saw the parking lot. Look at, there's 25 cars sitting here. Look at this place. You walk inside, there's like about 40 tables in there. It was huge. The place looked big. We couldn't believe, we were all amazed, we were happy. Looked in the kitchen, there was a hood. The hood was big, twice the size of the hood that we had. There was more equipment, there was a dishwashing area, there was restrooms, and we were like, wow, we were amazed. We couldn't believe what we saw, we were all excited. We're ready to take over the world, so to speak, in our own little world, you know, our little backyard. We wanted to you know, do everything and do it fast. We went to apply for the licenses, hoping the licenses would come in. We had no idea its process. We thought it was just one day to the next. A friend of mine would say, we're casing the joint. Oh, guess what? There's a hamburger stand here, a bakery, there was a record store. And you're walking around, everybody's welcoming you. Hey guys, welcome. You're the new owners, yeah, you're the new owners. How many kids? We start meeting these people. It's a small community. People are open arms. They want you to be successful. They're waiting for you. And we're coming here. We went to Pound's Burgers. The whole family was eating hamburgers, and then we say, hey, the name of the restaurant was called La Posta. I says, oh, well, are we going to leave that name? We weren't sure yet. We had a hamburger, we're eating as a family, and we said, okay, we're walking around, casing the joint, figuring out what goes here, what goes there, what we're gonna put on the menu and stuff, or utensils, what color the shirts are gonna be. And we said, well, we gotta figure out our name, we'll figure out our name. If you can see up there, there's a sign that says Chalio. Right there, it said La Posta. My dad comes out, he wants somehow to reflect the small town where he came from in Mexico. So we went up there, he drew it. I think this is still the original sign, one of the signs that we used. You can see it. We would tell people there was parking, and being that we're Spanglish, parking atrás, parking in the back, in the rear. So we go back home that day, and we're all sitting in the living room, and we say, what are we gonna name this place? What's the name of the restaurant gonna be? We're all sitting there, and we're all tossing names around. I don't remember the names, but everybody, there was 8 of us. My mom, my dad, there was 9. So we're going around, and what do you think? Oh, Birria. I forgot the names we were thinking. We're all thinking names. It came to my dad. My dad says, "Oh, I don't know." He's like, "I don't know, guys. What do you think?" And you know what he wants to say is he wants to use his name, but he doesn't say it. He's not as bold enough to tell us. So he's sitting there, and he says, "Oh, wow. I don't know. What do you think? No, that's not a good one." He kept on skipping over the different names, and so I finally kind of go, "Oh, let's just name it Chalitos." Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. And that's what we ended up naming it. So that's where we got the name from. That's how we came up with the name. His name was Rosario, but his nickname they called him was Chalio. That's my dad. That's a picture of Chalio, the founder. When he was alive, I would tell him about it. I said, hey, remember the name? You wanted the name, you just didn't want to tell us. He didn't want to be bold to say, oh, it's going to be after me. Whenever we wanted to make decisions and we wanted to change stuff, I remember he would always come out and say, come here, come here. He says, what? He would bring us outside and pull us out into the streets. He goes, look up. He says, what does it say there? And he says, oh, it's Chalio. Says, that's me. I make the decisions.
Now let me tell you one of our growing pains stories that has a happy ending.
As we were selling food out of our house, there was these growing pains. We'd go to the local meat markets to buy the goat, and they would run out. They didn't have enough. A vendor comes in that delivers the meat, so he tells us, oh, why don't you just go buy it direct over in Vernon? He gives us the address where he worked at. We had no idea. We didn't know any better. We went in a 1970 Pontiac Grand Le Mans, took some butcher paper. We go in there and we try to buy some goat. The guy goes, no, we don't sell, we can't sell this. You have to have an NSF refrigerated van or truck to put the food in there. You can't do that. We can't sell to you. And you know, we're getting ready to walk away. There's a guy there. Guy comes out, he goes, come in after 3 and I'll sell it to you. Well, the reason being was that there was a USDA inspector there and he couldn't sell it to me because then they would get in trouble. So we went after 3 and he would sell us 2, 3, 4, 5 carcasses of goat. We would pack them in. We started 4 or 5, and then we started buying 20, and then there was 30, then there was 100. We ended up being his #1 purchaser eventually. We were buying up to 120 goats from him. And I asked him one time, I said, hey, why didn't you give us a chance? He goes, everybody deserves a chance. So I remember they would come in the truck, they would come in from Utah, from Blue Mountain, Utah. They would stack them up like you would see in the Rocky movie where they have all the carcasses hanging. They were hanging, so it was us and other groups who would walk in there and we would have to fight for them. So as they come in, you would look at the carcasses and you would have to pick them. My dad would say, these are the good ones. So you had to pick the ones that had less fat and you put them on hooks and you move them, you slide them over and you put all our stash together and those were all our carcasses. Well, that was at 3 or 4 in the morning. That was during the week. I would go to school, so my dad would wake us up and oh shoot, I gotta wake up early in the morning. Oh, well, one of the bonuses of that was after we finished packing up, it was 6 a.m. in the morning, right before school started, we would drive by Tom's Burgers. And the reason why I wanted to get up was I would get to eat a hamburger and fries at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. That was my treat, and I looked forward to it. I wanted to go and pick up those carcasses because I knew that I was gonna get a hamburger and fries at 7 in the morning. So every so often, once in a while now, I come back and I'll eat me a hamburger at 7 in the morning. This would be the table that we would sit on here. And I would be eating and my dad would be talking to all his friends and there we had our car full of carcasses of the goat and before we go home and marrying them, getting ready for the weekend. I was showing you guys in the corner, there's a hamburger stand there and I mentioned that we were just a 2-product thing with birria, menudo, and tacos de cabeza. Sometimes kids would come over and we had nothing to serve them. They didn't want to eat birria, they didn't want tacos de cabeza. Head, no, we're not going to eat head. And the menudo, well, they wouldn't eat it, so we would have to go call them up and they would make us a hamburger and we'd bring the hamburgers and give it to the kids who would come and eat here with their parents.
And now for the highlight of our tour, our food and some of our great customers enjoying it.
That's a preparation food place right there. That's where we make the birria, pozole, chile verde. Here's a small little kitchen that we have. We got the ovens, so the birrias are getting kind of toasted a little bit, so it can taste better. We got the menudo, we got the consomé, we got the grano. Whatever people want, we serve them whatever they want, just to make them happy, and me happy, you know what I mean? I got the Mexican coals, I got the big micheladas, aguas frescas, everything you want, whatever you want. So it's always packed. They make a line outside, and they make a line inside and outside, they make a line, you know what I mean? And we sell 4 big tambos, the big ones we have, every weekend, in big ollas of consomme. Right here, we cook the birria for the customers. And then this is the consomme we use for this. We cook it for 8 hours. We leave it overnight for the morning. We got little sections. We got little section that we have them here. This is the beef. The beef, the rice, the beans. That's in a bowl called consomme. That's peinecillo, that's maciza. This is menudo with pata, menudo with hominy. Depends how you want it. Some people want it dry, some people want it wet. And then we sell tacos de cabeza. Right here, these are tacos de cabeza, and they're real huge. That's how big we make them. And we serve them to the customers like that, big. We always have somebody here making something special. They're handmade tortillas. Her name is Juanita. And then we have the birria over here. Here we have costilla peinecillo maciza and the consommé. Let's visit the patio. We open up the patio for the weekends only. And here we are. It's our overflow area, but very popular.
Stay tuned for more and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to keep up with our birria journey.